Hello, thank you, Tom, for the very nice introduction, and I'm very happy to see you all, even virtually. So I'm going to speak on behalf of the allergy team here. So in our allergy team, we have three supervisors. One is Professor T.F. Leung, Leung. One is Professor Gary Wong, and myself. So one of the attractions of our allergy team, I would say, is probably our biobanks, because we have long-standing research in this field. We have collected a number of numerous human DNA, serum, plasma, urine stool, dust samples. So these are from the previous collaborative cohorts that we have performed, studies that we have performed. So if you have any research ideas, when you come here, you can test out your ideas in these pilot samples using these established samples with clinical data. So this is a very strong attraction in terms of our allergy team. And I think why the reason that we have gotten these large number and treasured samples is because we have participated in a number of collaborative studies because of Professor Gary Wong and Professor Ting-Fen Leung. They have a long history of research with different teams around the world. We have been participating in the previous ISAC studies, which look at the prevalence of asthma and allergies in childhood, and also the Euro-Preval study groups, which also look at the prevalence of different food allergies around the world. So the links with the international universities, with the research centers, I would say is the selling point of allergy team. I'm not saying that the other teams are not attractive, but this is one of the keys in our team. So what do we have? So I think one of the recent ongoing research that I would like to tell you is the number of birth cohorts that we have been conducting. So for example, with Professor T.F. Leung, one of his main research interests in DOHATs, the determinant of the childhood health and diseases. So we have conducted a number of birth cohorts and have been conducting them, and we wanted to look to see if there is any interaction between the early life and microbiome, as well as the the host, which modulated the subsequent susceptibility of the various allergic diseases. So with these number of various birth cohorts that we have been conducting, we will be collecting a number of samples to analyze, and this will generate, we have a number of research questions that you can help us to explore and to analyze. As for the asthma team, so I think this would be mainly Professor Gary Wong and Professor T.F. Leung's research, and ongoing, we are doing a lot of collaborative work with different rural and urban centers to look for any genetic and environmental determinants for allergic diseases in children. You can see here, obviously, the above is Hong Kong. It's a very urbanized city, and we have a very high prevalence of different allergic diseases. But back then in the mainland China, for example, in a site called Chonghua, so they are relatively uncontaminated, and we have established relationship with different teams over there, and then we have a very valuable source of children, and they can give us some specimens, and they can give us some clinical data, and then we can have a contrast and comparison between the different groups. So with these, we wanted to unravel any maternal factors and early life exposome that will modulate allergy susceptibility. So this is one of the research that the asthma team is currently conducting, and in the past we have also research on a number of asthma diagnostics, for example the XL-NO and the various spirometric measurements, also the strengths of our asthma team. As for the eczema team, so apart from airway, we are also doing a lot of research in the skin. So first of all is we have identified a lot of zero markers, and we are trying to find more biophysical and psychological assessment tools for our children with eczema. And at the moment, we are about to start the first biotherapy as an emerging possible treatment for children with eczema. So I think this will really change the dynamic of how we treat our children in the future who have a very difficult to treat eczema. So we're not talking about treatment, and also preventive measures as well. As for the food allergy team, this is where I work mostly on. So we work on both the diagnosis as well as the immunotherapy for the treatment of allergy. So you can see here, because for food allergy, the gold standard is really to do an oral food challenge. So we have a strong team of dietitians and research staff who would help us with conducting the gold standard research for our children, which was not done in anywhere else in Hong Kong, with a double-blind placebo-controlled oral food challenge. So because this is actually quite labor-intensive, but because it is the best that we can do to diagnose our children with food allergies, so this is where we spend a lot of our times on, but we will get a good result from it. And we are also about to embark Hong Kong's first peanut oral immunotherapy trial, because in the past, for peanut allergy, it's incurable. You have to live with it lifelong. But we have strong evidence that we may be able to help you to tolerate peanut in the future. So you can see on the left upper top, this is our logo. So we are about to start this immunotherapy, which is going to be ongoing for the coming 18 months. And you can see we have a strong team who are well experienced in performing different areas on food allergy diagnosis as well as immunotherapy. So I think this will be the last of my slides, and I'll hand over to the other teams. So if you have any other questions, feel free to email me, myself, Professor T.F. Leung, as well as Professor Wong.